Ever met a celebrity but acted like you didn't know them? I was working as a night shift nurse in a children's cancer ward in Los Angeles when it happened. The job was emotionally draining but rewarding in ways I can't explain. That particular night was especially difficult. We'd lost a patient earlier, a 7-year-old girl named Nia who'd been fighting leukemia for 3 years. Her parents were devastated, and holding them as they collapsed in grief had taken everything out of me. Around 2 a.m. I was doing my rounds when I noticed someone sitting alone in our family waiting area. It was unusual for visitors at that hour unless something was critical. As I approached, I realized it was Johnny Depp, dressed simply in jeans and a plain black jacket. I recognized him immediately, but understood celebrities value their privacy, especially in vulnerable moments. "Can I help you?" I asked professionally, not acknowledging who he was. He looked up with tired eyes and explained he was there to visit a young fan named Tommy who was undergoing aggressive chemotherapy. Tommy had written to him through a foundation, but the letter had been delayed for months. Johnny had only received it yesterday and came straight away, not realizing how late it was. I explained visiting hours were over, but saw the genuine concern in his eyes. "Tommy talks about your movies constantly," I admitted. "Pirates of the Caribbean plays on repeat in his room." Something in Johnny's expression changed, a mix of determination and sadness. "I can come back tomorrow," he offered, but I could tell he was worried about whether Tommy would still have a tomorrow. Many of our patients didn't. I made a decision that could have cost me my job. "Follow me," I whispered, leading him through the quiet corridors. 10 minutes, no photographs, and if anyone asks, "You're Tommy's uncle who got special permission." Tommy was asleep when we entered, thin and pale against the white hospital sheets, tubes and monitors surrounding his small 9-year-old body. His walls were covered with Pirates posters. Johnny stood frozen in the doorway, visibly emotional. He quietly pulled a chair beside Tommy's bed and just sat there for a moment before gently placing his hand on the boy's. Tommy stirred, opened his eyes, and blinked in confusion. The moment he realized who was sitting beside him, his face transformed with a joy I hadn't seen in months of treating him. "You came!" Tommy whispered in disbelief. "Captain Jack always keeps his promises, mate. Just ran into some rough waters getting here," Johnny replied, instantly slipping into character. I stepped outside to give them privacy, checking the hallway nervously for other staff. What was supposed to be 10 minutes turned into an hour as I kept watch. Through the window, I could see Johnny had brought small presents, a real compass, a signed bandana, and what looked like a miniature replica of Jack Sparrow's sword. Tommy was more animated than I'd seen in weeks, despite his weakness. When I finally had to end the visit, Johnny thanked me sincerely. "You have no idea what this meant to him," I said. "Actually, I think I do," he replied quietly. 3 days later, Johnny returned during proper visiting hours with his full Pirates costume and several cast members. They transformed the entire pediatric oncology floor into a pirate adventure for all the children. What no one knew was that Tommy had taken a turn for the worse the morning after Johnny's first visit. His doctor had told his parents he might not make it through the week, but something changed after that night. Tommy began responding better to his treatments. The doctors called it remarkable. 6 months later, I received a package at the hospital, a handwritten note from Johnny and a check for $1 million, 0 cents to our pediatric cancer research program. The note simply said, "For Tommy and all the brave pirates fighting monsters bigger than the Kraken." Tommy went into remission 8 months after that first visit. He's 13 now and still cancer-free. I never told anyone about breaking protocol that night, and Johnny never mentioned it during his official visits. Sometimes the most meaningful encounters are the ones that remain our secrets.